Hey, I'm Shelby.
And I'm Courtney,
We're exploring our past
looking forward to our future,
and living for the present, all
all while
well.
learning how to live magically.
Hello.
Hey,
Hi,
welcome to the pod.
thank you.
We're so excited you're here. Miss Disneyland herself.
Yes, I'm so excited to be here.
It's gonna be good. Shelby, I've been grilling Alex a little bit in the week leading up to this, and
Mhm.
every question led to like 10 additional questions, so strap in.
I am excited. Yeah, I really kind of jumped into this blind. I know we're talking about Disneyland and Courtney, you set all this up, so I'm excited.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Alex, you're gonna be on the spot.
Yes, I think I'm ready.
You're gonna be great.
Um, so before we got on here, you made me stop telling a story because you just wanted me to tell everybody on the pod.
Everybody needs to know about dental hygiene. Tell us.
Everybody needs to floss their teeth.
Yes.
I had to go back to the dentist yesterday to get fillings, and they like numb your mouth, you know?
Yep.
Yeah. I thought that was gonna last like maybe 2 hours. 7 hours later, I could finally feel my mouth again.
So you were like drooling out the side of your mouth.
That's how I felt, but more like I couldn't eat anything and I was starving. But then I finally did eat and I had like something on my lip, and Kyle's like, you have cheese in your lip. And I was like, okay, cool. But now I have to go back again today because they need to like they have to like shave down what they did because I don't know why they couldn't do that yesterday when I was already there. So now I have to go back like right after this. And I'm just freaking floss your teeth, people. This is so stupid.
Wait, so you went to the dentist. You got like the first time. You got like a general overview. They counted your teeth, they did your x-rays, they probably cleaned them, whatever, right?
Right.
Then you went back this time. Did they needle you for numbing? Like was it a
Yes.
shot? It was a
Yeah.
shot. I've
Yeah.
never had that before. I don't know anything about it.
Wait, can I tell you the story?
Oh
This is
God.
so embarrassing. This is so embarrassing. We'll just tell it. So we all know that I have anxiety over God knows what. And
Yes.
I am sitting there in the chair. She's numbing me. My mouth's going numb. And a dog is next to me.
A dog?
A dog comes up next to me. And I'm like, was that a dog? Then the dog like walks around the other side and I realize it's for sure a dog. And I was like, oh. And they were like, oh, is the dog bothering you? Like he's just visiting today. And I was like, no, it's fine. But in my head, I'm getting numbed.
You're like
I'm thinking,
hallucinating.
no, that's what Kyle thought when I was telling him the story. I think the dog's coming up because it's like a trained dog and thinks I'm going to pass out, and was being aware that I was about to pass out because the dentist also kept asking me, like, are you okay?
Oh
Which
no.
I was fine, but now in my head, I'm not okay because there's a dog here waiting for me to pass out. Guys, floss your
Meanwhile,
teeth.
meanwhile, I was just like the neighborhood dog. Yeah.
I I guess. Did I tell you the dentist is straight up in a house?
Yes.
Yes.
So I guess the dog is there too. I don't know, but I thought it was a service dog coming to rescue me.
Oh my
So
gosh.
here we are. Anyways, that's all I got.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
While we're on the subject of PSAs, I also have a PSA, and that is that Wikipedia is a lie.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I mean, I knew that, but like I didn't know that. I knew it was like, sourced by humans and like it wasn't like official and whatever. However, literally the other day I logged in and I was like doing research for our pod that we recorded earlier this week about facts, and I was on the Pleasure Island page, and it was talking about this restaurant called Portobello. And I was like, oh yeah, I remember Portobello, but now Portobello is Terralina. And
Mhm.
so I was like, how can I be an upstanding citizen and put in like a suggestion that they update this information? And I like clicked and it was like, oh, just type it in, whatever you want, right here in this box. And I
Yeah.
did. I was like, is now Terralina, enter. It was on the website. There was
Yeah.
no like literally they can't like find me if I lied. I could have written like poop poop poop. Nobody could have found me. Like it was a
Wait,
free for all.
you don't have to like log in?
No.
I feel like it's
Yeah.
supposed to be checked, but like there's like a lag time because anybody can also go in and then delete what you put.
Right. Yeah. It's just like you could literally just write like bananas, cherries, rainbow, and that would be acceptable text for that area.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, I knew I just thought there was like some grain of protection involved there.
No.
No. So just be careful with your Wikipedias.
Well, like, I guess kind of what is the point of the site? Sounds like it's Reddit, basically.
Yeah, it's like organized Reddit. Not that Reddit isn't organized, but like, yeah.
Fascinating. Huh.
Oh, so that's my PSA. Alex, do you have any PSAs or anything to share?
No PSAs that I can think of.
Nice. We're glad you had a smooth sailing this
Yes.
week.
Yes. She wouldn't go that far, but but nothing that would help out anybody else.
Fair.
One more PSA. We're recording this on Friday morning. We proceeded to stay up last night until midnight because we thought Taylor was going to do something. She did absolutely nothing. So the PSA is just wait till it's announced.
Go to bed.
Yeah,
Just
stop clowning.
Just go to bed. Yeah.
I mean, I also was trying to think through that last night too, and I was like, all right, what are all the possible options here? Because we're all, for the record, if you're not a Swiftie, the Eras Tour came out on Disney Plus last night. It's the same Eras Tour, more or less, than we saw in theaters. It's the same one that's on tour. Like, I mean, a couple details, but pretty much the same thing. We've all seen it before if you're a Swiftie. It's not like groundbreaking.
But we acted like it was.
Yeah, we all acted like it was groundbreaking, and we all were kind of expecting, everybody had their own theories of like something was going to happen at midnight. Some people thought maybe we were going to get the Reputation tour added to Disney Plus, maybe an Eras tour live recording, maybe, I don't know, there were like a million options. A music video from the Tortured Poets department. And really my takeaway from the night, besides like stop clowning because it's not worth it, is like, what would we have done with that information anyway? Like, it's midnight and like Rep Tour comes on Disney Plus. I still would have turned off the TV and gone to bed. I've seen it before.
But not everybody would.
What do you mean?
There are people that would have been like, oh my God, it's on Disney Plus. I have to watch it now.
I mean, that's true.
I would have gone to bed. And I haven't seen, don't kill me, Shelby. I haven't seen Rep Tour yet.
Oh my
Sorry.
gosh.
I know.
And
my sister still, my sister also is not happy with me for that situation. So I'm sorry. I apologize.
Yeah,
sorry.
It's a good one.
I know. As soon as it comes back to wherever it's going to end up, I will be fixing that.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll hold you to it.
I don't think that Rep Tour, I don't know if Rep Tour is coming back because it's not Taylor's version. So that's why I think it was cut. Now, my theory on last night was that that Reputation Taylor's version was going to drop. And in that case, I was going to stay up because I would hear the bonus tracks from the vault. I would listen to those and then I'd go to bed.
Like vault tracks, I can get behind. I get that. But I just as like a very basic level marketer person, like someone who owned a business and had to advertise for myself, it would have been like a pretty dumb move for them to just like drop Rep in the middle of announcing Tortured Poets department. Like, too much, not enough organization, not enough stretching of the life cycle of like what they could get out of it. You know, they can ride this train a lot longer.
Yeah, and they obviously are going to. So I'm just gonna just buckle up until TTPD.
TTPD.
All right,
Yes.
let's get on with this.
Yeah.
Here we are. Alex,
Here we
welcome to
are.
Thank you.
We're so excited you're here. I just want to say why I picked Alex. Alex is just like in my DMs, telling me the facts, spitting straight fire. She knows the stuff. And my understanding is that you are a local, yeah?
Yes. So I am now. I haven't always been. Currently, I live, and for the last like year and a half, I live like 20 minutes from Disneyland.
I mean, that's pretty close.
Yeah. But I grew up in San Diego and would just go for like big family birthdays. It wasn't until I went to college just north of LA that having like weekdays off, my parents got me a pass for back when they were like really, really cheap. Got me a pass and I started going a lot more frequently. And I've pretty much had a pass since 2007.
Wow.
There was like a year and a half where I lived in San Francisco area for school and I didn't have one, and then COVID, but otherwise I've had a pass since then.
That is amazing.
Yeah. It's a lot.
It's dedication. Hey, you've earned your patch.
Yes.
Disneyland credibility patch.
I try.
I mean, I have like a pass to Disney World, but obviously I'm like not a local. So how much do you visit Disneyland with a pass being that close?
I try. Well, the reservations make it a lot harder. I was going a lot more frequently when we didn't have reservations. Now I make it a point to go a minimum of once a month. I'll try and go a couple other times. It's a little less during summer with how busy and hot it is, but a little more during like non-busy times in winter. So
I like that.
We get that. We relate.
Yeah.
I could digress for literally hours right now. I won't, but about the reservation system and the complications. And you guys even over there have, I think, a worse situation than we do.
Yeah.
Over here, I had to speak to a cast member like yesterday about how to properly use my annual pass, because I was like, I don't get it. Because like I looked in the reservations, Animal Kingdom was blocked. I couldn't pick it. So I picked Epcot. We went to Epcot and I was like, sir, can I go to Animal Kingdom if Animal Kingdom is blocked out? And he was like, yeah, have a great day. Bye. I was like, I don't.
Yeah,
what?
I mean, you guys have 4 different parks to hop to, and we only have 2, but having like, it's so wild that like I can't book a park to start at, but I can still hop there later.
So even you can at Disneyland?
Yeah, like so I have to pick what park to start in, and then we can hop starting at 11. So at 11, I can go to any park. Like I can hop back and forth. But I could also, a lot of times I go when I get off work. So it's after 11 anyway. Technically, I don't even have to go to my starting park. I could go to the other. Like you don't have to scan into your starting park first.
But
which is so dumb. But I have a reservation. Like I have a reservation for Disneyland, but I'm going to get there after 11. So I could technically go to California Adventure first.
But if you didn't have the reservation to Disneyland, then it's a no-go.
Correct.
It's so
clear as mud.
World. I mean, I think even at Disney World, it's like silly that if you have like your reservation to Epcot and you go and like check in, now you can go hop over to Animal Kingdom, because that's a full-blown commitment to get from Epcot all the way to Animal Kingdom. But at Disneyland, it's like, I actually want to go to Disneyland, but I have a California Adventure pass. Scan, let me walk the other way. Like,
so but there's the catch is if you
Yes.
literally scan into Disneyland and try to turn around and leave and go to California Adventure, your pass gets flagged.
Yep.
And they like don't let you in. Like somebody has to come over and clear the flag for you to get in.
Yep.
Like
I was just reading that.
I used to, prior to the whole reservation system, I could like literally walk into Disneyland, go get a churro at the closest cart and turn around, go be like, oh shoot, I need to go over. I didn't realize whatever was going on. I want to go over to California Adventure and run over there and have like less than 15 minutes within the time from scanning into both parks,
Mhm.
and it not a problem. Now, if there's, I don't know what the official number is
I
because
think it's an hour.
someone's also said it's a glitch in the system. Like it's not supposed to do that, but I feel like it's been years at this point and it's
Yeah.
still happening to where like it happened once. I was trying to meet up friends from out of town and they had told me they were in California Adventure. So I scanned in there and then they're like, oh, no, we're over in Disneyland now. So I went to scan into Disneyland and like it flagged my pass. I was like, so I explained to them and which I don't understand what the reason is. Like, what do you think we're trying to do
Right.
when we can park hop, if it's after park hop time and we can park hop?
Right.
It doesn't make any sense.
Makes zero sense. And
Yep.
we've also talked about this on the pod quite a few times of all these things that keep happening, like especially Disney World with like things that left during COVID and never came back. It's like COVID is no longer the reason
Yeah.
for these changes, especially the reservation system. Like for what are we even reserving? Because it's always packed. So
and like it seems from not really my experience, because I don't know a lot of people that are buying single day tickets, but from what I hear is that like no, but I mean like I don't personally know them. I know a lot of people are, but like the single day tickets aren't selling out. Like they're not, like they just seem to be available. It's the pass holders, but Disneyland does have a unique like amount of pass holders. It's a lot different than Florida where there's a lot of locals. And so it creates a different impact on the parks, which I totally understand. You can see it if you go during a weekday and slower season. And like come 5:30, all the pass holders start showing up and it gets more crowded. So I get that that's unique in the parks, a lot smaller than Disney World, but it kind of like stinks as a pass holder that just used to be able to on a whim be like, hey, I feel like going to ride Cars, Radiator Race, Spring Racers. Like I'm going to head over to the parks. And then now it's like, shoot, are there reservations available? I have to plan this out potentially a week in advance. Like kind of takes the fun out, a little bit of the fun out of it.
Oh, well, definitely.
And you guys have like I'm literally praying like whatever I can do that this doesn't happen to us. You guys literally get penalized, right? If you make a reservation and you don't go.
So there's you get 3 strikes, and after 3 strikes, you can't, so 3 no-shows. You can't make any new reservations for 30 days.
Like,
so it's in the 3 strikes are in a 90-day period. And then you can't make any new reservations for 30 days. So if you know you're not showing up for your 3rd strike, you can go online and make a bunch of reservations and you can still go to those reservations.
I see.
You just can't make any new reservations for 30 days, which it took a while for people to realize that was, I don't want to say it's a loophole because they were very clear that it blocks you from making reservations, but I think everybody assumed that you also couldn't go to reservations during that 30-day period, and that's not the case. You just can't make new reservations for 30 days.
I just like, my plans change like the wind. So I mean,
But
I
I
could
think-
need a nap. Like any number of things could happen that I don't show up to my evening. And I'm not like rope dropping any. I never. I mean, I guess I did at one point, but like I'm not like rope dropping. I'm sure I'm the passhole you just described that rolls in at 5:30. That
Mhm.
like whatever. So, but it could be 5:30, and my husband could decide he wants to do something else or like
Yeah.
whatever. So,
But it also sounds at Disneyland like you kind of have to make your reservations ahead of time. So like I'd probably go in there and just make some reservations just so I
right.
have them. So if I want to go
Yeah.
hang out in the park.
And people do that. I'm a little more like, I don't go a lot alone. I have certain friends that I go with. So I'm making mine more in advance. I know there are some people, sometimes you can get them same day, but I'm not as, I think that there are certain dates that book out that do fill up, that it's harder to get same day. And I hear people say sometimes they open up and sometimes they don't, but it's harder to have that mentality of like, let me just go on a whim when you're like, oh shoot, I need a reservation first. Let me check. And then if there's
Yeah.
not, you're like, oh, that just killed the vibe. Like,
Yeah,
bummer.
for sure.
Jerks.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right.
I just
That's
off-roaded
older.
that conversation real hard.
That's
So
fine.
we're gonna U-turn back to the top.
Back to who you are.
Who are you?
Who are you and what do you do?
Hello. My name's Alexandria. I actually work in the medical field. So it's called nuclear medicine. It's a type of imaging.
That's what my dad used to do.
Oh, nice. Crazy.
Yeah.
We're a small little world.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I do that. I work 8-hour shifts now. So it's kind of weird. I used to work 10-hour shifts. So I could go at one day a week. I could go to Disney during the day, but, so I go a lot at night now. But before I kind of like we mentioned, I got my pass when I was in college. So, I would go on my off school days or go like half days then, and have just never been able to get rid of it. And then with how scarce it is to get magic keys, I just don't want to give it up because I'm afraid I won't be able to get it back.
That is real.
That's a real fear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. I want to know, what's your earliest Disney memory? Like, what made you fall in love with the Diz?
So I'd say like as a kid, we went for birthdays and we were more the family. I grew up in San Diego, so we weren't super close, but close enough to go celebrate certain birthdays or when we had family come from out of state. And I just always remember it being fun. I don't remember, I wasn't the child that had mental breakdowns at Disneyland. So I always had a great time.
Love it.
That was more my brother, but he was
Same.
not a theme park person. But it was just always so magical and fun to be there, just like in general, which is I can still go and literally not go on a ride, like just
Same.
walk down Main Street
Mhm.
and people watch and be like content. And then when I got into college, I got the pass and just started going more, and it kind of just like the little love I had for Disney kind of exploded. My husband and I met, we met through eHarmony, but at the time he worked at Disney. So our like first in-person meeting each other was at Downtown Disney. So then it kind of holds like an extra little special nugget now.
Where was the spot?
It doesn't exist anymore, but it was the UVA bar in like the center.
I love that bar.
Yeah. It was pretty cool bar.
Yeah, they had great music.
It was a cool bar. So I was already going with a friend after work, and he was getting off work, so we kind of met up there, and then went into the parks for a couple rides, and then like that was it, and I guess the rest is history. And he was like, yeah, this is all I can do. He's like,
Your
I worked
first
here all
date
day.
with your husband was literally Disneyland and then, or Disney, downtown Disney, and then rides at Disney.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, you had to marry him.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I still
bring
have. I wish I had it handy, but our technical first picture was from Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters, and I still like have the like ride. It's so grainy. It's literally the worst
Of course.
picture ever. But I still have it.
That is
And who-
hilarious.
Who won?
Me.
Yeah,
I win
okay.
that, and I win Buzz Lightyear, and he wins Toy Story Mania. It's just how it goes.
Nice. Still to this day?
Yep.
Nice.
Love that. What would you say is like the coolest part about being a local at Disneyland?
Getting to go so like not having to plan a big trip around it, just
Mhm.
getting to be like, yeah, I kind of this week I feel like going to Disney, or let me see if there's any reservations now, and then head over there and go get something. A couple of my friends and I will use it as our like meetup spot, since we all have passes, and go get something to eat, go walk around, and even if the ride lines are too long, we just chat the whole time and people watch and have a great time.
Courtney, I just feel like
100%.
it hits different at being Disneyland
So
and like
different.
Disney World, like we
Oh,
have
yeah.
Disney World APs, and obviously I'm not local, but like even Courtney, sure, that's what you do. You just let's go to dinner at Disney tonight. But it just hits different just knowing it's Disneyland.
Yeah. We're jealous. That's what she's trying to say.
Very.
That's fine. I get it, because like I get jealous of little Disney World things too, even though I am partial to Disneyland.
Yeah.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
I feel that. It's so real though, even to the point of like sometimes people ask me like, do you actually know anything about Orlando? Like, do you do anything outside of Disney? And I like, no. Are you the same way?
Disney World is so big though that like I could understand not needing to do anything outside of Disney World.
Yeah.
Disneyland doesn't have like all of the like Epcot itself has so many different events going on all the time.
Yeah.
Like all the musicians and the bands that come through and play, like you don't need to know about life, like nightlife anywhere else. Just between Disney Springs and Epcot, like you don't need anything else. Disneyland doesn't have as much of that. There isn't as much like the outside entertainment that comes in. So I do know a lot more about like the surrounding area.
I respect that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just a better person than I am, I think is what that boils down to.
I don't know if I'll go that far, but I feel like if I was at Disney World, I'd be in the same spot. I'd be like, I don't know, I just go to Disney World all the time. You'd either find me at Disney World or you'd find me in like Hogwarts and Diagon Alley all the time. So I'd live there practically.
Yeah. It's a bad habit to break. As we do, I have a severe left turn here for you.
Go for it.
Taylor Swift, do you like her? And what's your favorite song?
Yes. Yes.
Just like
for the occasion, I am wearing my like Eras Tour hoodie. So
did you go to the Eras Tour?
I went to 2 LA dates. We went to night 3 and night 6.
So you're like in the film?
No. Well, the only night they filmed that I was there was 3, and that night we were like up in the nosebleeds. I don't know how it happened. My sister got an email or a text message from Ticketmaster like the week of the show being like, more tickets released. And she just happened to click it fast enough and get 3 tickets.
Wow.
Like I know, I don't know how that worked. So we got like normal price tickets the week before the 3rd night.
Wow.
I know. Like up in the nosebleed, so there's no way you're going to see us.
I might have seen your bracelet.
That's true. It's somewhere way up there.
Yeah.
And it was kind of cool because we were at the like opposite end of the stage.
Okay.
We had a view of like everything.
Yeah, cool.
And then I had originally gotten tickets. Well, I was in the whole debacle of not getting tickets when they went on sale because everything was like going out. And I got they did like a raffle situation where if you had, so I did that thing and I just put in, I was like, I don't know, I don't want to put a lower ticket amount and not get anything. Yeah. So let me just put in for the highest and see what happens. And we ended up with floor seats in the 7th row for the last night. So
that's what happened with, bye.
That's what happened with KG too.
I cannot.
Yeah.
So that was night 6. And that was the 1989 announcement night.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was all the blues. And after like the 3rd blue, my sister and I looked at each other and we're like, something's up. Something's going on.
I TikToked that entire show.
Yeah.
TikTok
I think
stream.
I think you were like saying stuff on Instagram too. And I was like, Shelby, something's happening.
It's happening. Oh man. All right.
Amazing. Wait. I wanted to know what her favorite song is.
Favorite song. Sorry, I did skip that. I think right now it's Invisible String.
Love it. Yes.
I feel like it kind of changes, but like I was really thinking about it and it's a really hard question. So I tried to have an answer. I tried to have an answer prepared. And if I had to pick one right now, that'd probably be what I'd pick.
Respect.
Wow. Folklore. Interesting.
I love it.
I mean, sorry, Shelby, you didn't think it was going to be from Reputation, did you? Kind of already.
I know. You did break the news there. That's fair. All right. We are circling back to Disneyland.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
We'll get back on track.
Disneyland, what people are here for. Actually, people are here for Taylor. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, I would stay around for the Taylor.
Yeah, see?
I feel like this first question you probably can't even answer because I wouldn't be able to answer it if you asked me for Disney World, but how many times do you think you have visited Disney?
I can't answer.
I think it's like hundreds.
I was like, probably. There used to be a way before COVID that we could check to see how many times we scanned into the parks. And as long as your pass, like for the lifetime of that pass. So I don't think mine probably would have reset when I had that like year break for school. But it was super high. I don't think it's because it wasn't just per day. It was like if you hopped, it would count each time as a scan.
I like that.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
All right. So hi. How many park days would you recommend for someone as their first Disneyland trip? Like
never having been before.
Yeah. And like how many days tickets do you think they need to kind of see it all or get a good beginner?
I would do like a minimum of 3.
Okay.
And like you obviously more would be helpful. I feel like if you get closer to like 5 to 6, it might be like overkill.
Yeah.
But like 3, I feel like 3 to 4 is probably a sweet spot. Definitely one day to focus on each park and then one day to go back and like hit the stuff you might have missed or like just kind of like take it in a little better. As far as park hopping with them, I think it would be like but you could also just to not overwhelm yourself, stick to the first 2 days being like one park days and then the 3rd day being a hopper to kind of be able to go back and forth.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'm like a very big advocate of like anti-park hopping. I think park hopping is a huge waste of time. It's different in Disneyland, I will say. You don't have to like get on a bus and wait in a line and rescan through security and blah, blah, blah. But
it's like, I like hopping, but I feel like it's with the Genie Plus versus the old Fast Pass system. I'm sure some people will think that the Genie Plus makes it easier to park hop because you can have it like already loaded into your phone. But I found I don't get Genie Plus ever. And I only really recommend it to people if like they only have like a very limited amount of time and they want to like get through as much as possible. But I feel like it's not as helpful to have Genie Plus or it's not as easy to park hop with Genie Plus versus like park hopping when we had that old fast pass system.
Yeah.
Like I'd prefer to, because our fast pass system was even different than Disney World's. We you couldn't book them in advance. You had to like literally go up to the kiosk and get your ticket, paper
Those
ticket.
were the days.
And you could, yeah. I miss those fast passes so much.
Paper fast passes.
Yeah.
It seems like it was so long ago, but it really wasn't. It really wasn't.
Yeah. How far we've come, or maybe how far we've gone backwards. I don't know.
Yeah.
Right. Those were the days.
I get why they moved to it being all online and digital, or like through your phone, but I don't like it.
Yeah, same. That's perfect summary. 10 out of 10 summary. I get it, but I don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to ask you, you started to tell me a little bit about your hubs, and
yes.
I don't want to ask you anything you don't want to share, but you mentioned you worked for Disney.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us anything about that? And also, just, can we come over for dinner?
Yes. So my husband went to culinary school, and he started at Disney when they opened Carthay Circle in 2012. So he was on the opening team for Carthay. I think it was about 2014 or 2015. They did an expansion on Club 33, and he got brought over for the team for the newly expanded Club 33.
Casual flex.
Right.
Yes. But the caveat to that is just because you work at Club 33 doesn't mean you get people into the Club 33.
Of
so
course.
No, I have never been to Club 33, unfortunately.
But he has.
No. He's cooked there.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, he knows what it looks like, right?
Yeah. He's been inside, but he's never dined there.
Sure.
So
close enough.
Potato.
Yeah.
And then as a little like, I know you brought it up. I can't remember if it was, I think you did in the Facebook group, but the 21 Royal is also out of the same kitchen as Club 33. So he's done Royal 21 Royal dinners as well as club dinners.
Okay.
And he also worked both lunch and dinner at club because they're two different shifts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So for the people at home, Club 33, the basic scoop on that is like, it is a super exclusive, invitation only, very long wait list, hoity-toity, expensive, elite Disney experience that you can only get into if you are very, very special.
And rich.
And rich.
Very rich.
I learn more about it every day, and it's a bucket list item for me for sure.
100%.
Also because like I'll feel like I definitely have made it if I can afford to send that email, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But we have Club 33 here. You have Club 33 there. They're non-transferable, so you can't go to Club 33 at one like Disneyland and also Disney World. They're separate. But you also mentioned 21 Royal, which I just learned about. We have nothing like that here. And tell me everything.
So 21 Royal is open to the public. It's a dinner party that they serve out of the dining room in the Dream Suite, which is the suite that was like, it was meant for Walt and his family to stay at. That's above Pirates. But I don't think it was ever finished for them to stay in, if I remember correctly. When was it? Probably around 2010 when they did the Year of a Million Dreams here for one of the anniversaries. They would randomly give it out to guests to stay the night in. But there was like no way to actually like plan that in advance. It's always been random. They ended up opening up the dining room for it for 21 Royal, and it is open to the public. You can make a reservation there. It's a flat fee for, I think it's either a max of 10 people or 12 people. It might be 12 people and $15,000, but so they serve everything they serve you with is gold plated. The executive chef for club, Andrew Sutton, is in charge of the menu, and then I think he sets like a tone for it, and then his I forget what their position titles are, but then the head chef over club would be the one that would actually execute.
Okay.
So you kind of don't have a say in the menu. They choose it, and I've heard it's all themed.
Okay.
Because I've listened to a couple podcasts that have been able to go, but more from like a media standpoint than like actually booking it themselves. And you get, so it books out really fast. It does include admission to the park for the day, I think. And then at a certain time you meet at, I think they meet at the Grand Californian, and they bus you backstage to get to the Dream Suite. And
unbelievable.
I have one of our
wild.
friends was like, do you guys want to do it? Would you like, if we can get a group together? And she's one of our friends that my husband worked with at club. And we were like, yeah. And she's like, okay, next time they open up reservations, we'll try and get some. And then it is something, I don't know what happened, but it's never gone through yet. So one day maybe.
Wild that, I mean, it's very like hidden, I think. Like not a lot of people know about it, but also maybe because it's $15,000 and it's just not something that you can be like, yeah, let's go do that on Thursday. But
yeah. And they only do it certain, I think it's Thursday, Friday, Saturdays. There's only a few days of the week that they do it. And they only open like a certain amount up at a time.
Wild.
And
bucket list.
it is so hidden. Like I downloaded the Disneyland app to research 21 Royal. You search it, whatever, does not even come up. They don't even acknowledge that it exists. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, if you look online, it's like I think it's it's been a while since I've looked, but it's like a different website. It's not through the Disney website.
It's a different website, and it maybe has like 2 paragraphs of text. There is no information on pricing. There is no information on anything. It says like, call this, if you think you're brave enough to call this number and speak with a human about how broke you are, try us.
Yes,
like
exactly.
It is just like such a wild once in a lifetime for me anyway. I mean, would I do it once? Yes. Would I ever be able to afford it twice? No.
Seriously.
Like, no. But TLDR, let's pool some group funds. Let's make a plan. Let's meet at Disneyland 21 Royal.
Let's do it.
Down.
Bucket list.
Yeah.
So that's probably, we're going to jump into now your ideal Disneyland trip. And you can just add that as like, that would be at the end of it. We would go eat at 21 Royal.
Yeah.
Shoot, I'll do lunch at club. Like if I could get someone to sign me in I don't need the full dining experience. You just let me into that bar once and I'll be a happy camper.
Right?
Yes, for sure.
But your realistic ideal Disneyland trip.
Yes. So I also am a coffee down Main Street, but I find it a travesty here that the best coffee in the park is in Galaxy's Edge, and it doesn't open until 11.
I don't know on that.
Idea this was. So it does exist at Hollywood Studios, but apparently it's not as good.
It's
the space coffee. So it's the sorry, I wrote it down because I always get the name wrong. It's cold brew black calf. It's like a cold brew coffee. It has it sounds weird from their description, is a cream cheese
good.
foam. And it's like the best thing ever. And then they top it with Cocoa Puffs. And it is so
good.
great.
Is it good? I have never had it.
It's so good.
I tried to make it at home after we went to Disneyland, but it wasn't even close.
It's hard. I did find a copycat recipe for the foam because I feel like honestly the foam is like the most important part.
Yeah.
It's a version of like an Asian cheese foam. So I got kind of close, but I feel like mine was thicker.
Interesting.
So
That
it like
sounds
was slightly
scary.
off.
Cheese foam.
It's basically cream cheese and heavy cream,
like
or milk and sugar, and you
blended.
just like whip it. Yeah,
it's so good. But yes, circle back to it not being open till 11, because when we were there, that was like on my must-have list, and I can't drink too much coffee or I'll be so jittery. So that was like, we need that coffee, and we just sat in Galaxy's Edge forever waiting for it to open. I'm pretty sure I was the first one to get it that day because we just like were standing around waiting.
It's so, I find it so weird that like you have breakfast Ronto wraps.
Yeah.
But why wouldn't you just bring the coffee over there in the morning where you serve the breakfast food instead of waiting for Docking Bay 7 to open at 11?
Yeah. I almost think they more consider it like a dessert rather than like somebody's morning coffee.
But like, I also can't have caffeine too late in the day. So when I'm going at night, that's the last thing I can get. Like, I'm not able to go get my coffee, and I go too long without it because at 5 o'clock at night, there's no way I'm going to have a cold brew and to be wired all night long. Not going to happen.
That is hilarious. Okay, so are you rope dropping, or are you like sleeping in and going for this coffee?
We sleep in and go for the coffee.
I love it.
Last time I rope dropped was so that I could do go on Rise with some friends prior to when it was still like virtual boarding passes or virtual queue for it. And it's just too much mayhem for me to rope drop. I've never really been a rope drop person. I'm more like I'll stroll in at like 8 or like 10 and like we'll just start from there. I'd rather get there later and be able to stay later at night than get there like first thing in the morning and deal with all the chaos. Cause it's not just getting there when the park opens. You have to get there like an hour and a half before so that you can actually make it through the parking structure and then get on a tram or walk. And then you're starting your walking so much earlier where I'd just rather like, let me get there when there's no security line, there's no tram line, get in there and don't have to wait for 45 minutes to scan into the parks. Like I'd rather just get there when everything's open and ready.
It's also, it's like a special breed of people at rope drop, like, which I respect and honor 100%, because if you spent that much fun on vacation and this is your once in a lifetime, respect. However,
100%.
I don't want to be like shackled with your stroller. I don't want to be like breathing your butt fumes because we're so close. I don't want to be like I don't want to talk to you about no.
Yeah. And I think even because I come from Disneyland, even going to Disney World, I wasn't a rope drop person because I'm like, why am I going to fight that there too? Like I know what getting there at opening is like, and I don't need that, even though I've never been there before. Like, nah, I'm good. I'll wait until you guys are open and then stroll in later.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll get there a little later. We'll get some coffee. I am really bad because I've gotten into the habit of like just kind of going with the flow and checking what wait times are low.
Same. That's us
just
too.
we'll see where I see where the day takes me. If I'm there with people that haven't been before, I kind of try to base it off like what they want to do and what their big ticket items are that they want to hit. So I won't let them make choices of how to walk around that are like going all bouncing back and forth
Yeah.
and not be efficient. So I'll try to like keep them efficient on like, okay, you want to do X, Y, and Z. Let's try and batch things together so that we're in the same area for them.
Smart.
But I like to go on Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters, which we have the better version of that than Disney World.
Yeah, your guns come out.
Yeah, your guys' guns are not the business. I went on that the first time. I was like, this is dumb. I never need to go on this ride here again.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'll go on that. Big Thunder is my favorite ride. I think I'm probably jumping ahead, but so I always like to try and go on Big Thunder. Get away from the heat. We'll do I just lost the name. Pirates or Haunted Mansion.
Okay.
I am also I prefer Haunted Mansion to not be holiday. I think it's weird that they turn it to a Christmas movie for Halloween when it's a Halloween themed ride to begin with.
I support that.
So during the peak of the day, we'll try and do that. Sorry, my dog just came in and wants attention. So I'll leave those rides for like peak of the day when we're trying to get out of the heat, and then go back to some of the other rides go back to some of the other big rides when it's cools down a bit, and like those rides tend to be a little lower.
Yeah.
Smart.
The lines are lower. Yeah.
Is there anywhere you're like definitely booking for lunch or dinner?
So if we're at Disneyland, sorry, I kind of stuck to Disneyland, didn't even talk about California Adventure stuff. Disneyland, I tend to like the Alien Pizza Planet. Their chicken fusilli pasta is like one of my favorite things to get on the Disneyland side.
Okay.
Lunch, I tend to do more like quick. So, if I'm going to get like a corn dog, I'll get it specifically from the Stage Store Cafe. They do have the little red trolley cart off Main Street, but it's been a while since I've got one, so I hope this hasn't changed. But from Stage Door, you can get it with French fries, and from the red trolley cart, you can only get it with potato chips or like mandarins. So
that makes sense.
I prefer the French fries because they're better than potato chips. Plain Lay's potato chips.
Yeah, for sure.
Feel that.
Let's see. If for lunch, over at California Adventure, I tend to do like a quicker lunch and more of like sit down dinners. If I'm going to be there all day, so I'd grab something from one of the areas that has like more quick service. So let's see, California Adventure. Lately I've been doing a lot from the new like San Francisco area. They have Iberia ramen that's really good. It's a tiny bit spicy, but it's so for people not familiar with the birria craze, it's a Mexican dish where it's like shredded. I think traditionally it's goat, but as it gained popularity, it's beef. It's like shredded beef in like a red broth, and they pull apart the broth, pull out the meat and use the broth to dip tacos in normally. But for the ramen, you have your traditional ramen noodles and toppings with the same shredded beef, but instead of the broth being like a ramen broth, it's that like consomme broth from that you cook the meat in. It's really good. Like I said, a bit spicy, which caught me off guard a little bit because I feel like Disney tends to be more like mellow on certain stuff. So I don't know if like it being Disneyland played into that and being in Southern California, but that was a really good addition to the menu. And then they have a chicken sandwich over there too. That's pretty tasty. It's like a katsu chicken sandwich.
Nice.
So I tend to something I can grab and eat quicker during the day, and then do more sit down and relax at night.
I'm into that.
Same. And especially at Disneyland, what did we call them? Smeals, snack meals
Smeals.
are
Smeals.
the way to go at Disneyland for sure.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
We love
For
the
sure.
meals.
So you already mentioned like you're not a big Genie Plus gal.
Yeah, personally.
Yeah.
Like if you're going for like the one time I've used it was we had friends coming from out of state and they had like a very short window to go. So I was like, yeah, like let's go and use it and maximize our time here. So if it's a short period of time, like, and especially if you're coming during summer, definitely use it and
use it. Yeah.
to the best of ability. But I'm not as like well versed on it to know how to get it to like how to maximize your time for everything, you know?
So let's just say you were to pick one ride at Disneyland and then one ride at California Adventure. Which ride should you use your Genie Plus on? I know you get more than one ride at Genie Plus, but for the sake of conversation, pick one in each park.
I hope these are Genie Plus rides. I'd say Radiator Springs Racers for sure. That might be a lightning lane, though.
I think it's a lightning
lane. That's an individual lightning lane.
Yep.
For house. So then, either Guardians or the Spider-Man ride.
I do love web slingers.
Web slinger, it's just so fun. Like the technology still blows my mind that like I don't need anything and I can make it like work.
Agreed. And Guardians is so good.
I'm bummed because last time I went to Disney World, your guys' Guardians wasn't open yet. So I only have like ours, and your guys' seems so cool too.
Ours is very, very good, but I always compare Disneyland Guardians like to Tower of Terror, obviously. And like Guardians of the Galaxy, I'm going to call it Guardians Tower of Terror is way better than OG Tower of Terror.
Yeah. I don't know.
Did you ever go on Tower of Terror at Disneyland prior to the change? Because it was different to your guys' Tower of Terror.
I must have, but I do not remember it.
What was different?
So we don't have like you guys have that your cart kind of moves before you actually go up the elevator. Ours is all stationary.
Interesting.
So because the footprint of the ride is smaller, so ours you're just in the elevator the whole time. So you'd basically go up to that little like area where they do the little story with the little girl, and then go through and then go up and down. Which I love Tower of Terror, so I was bummed when they got rid of it, but how they replaced it, I'm not as mad about it. It's still really
fun. Like that you laugh on it rather than like spooked out. I don't know.
And you still don't know when anything's coming. Like especially because how it changes with every song, and I don't go on it frequently enough to have it memorized, but you have no idea when anything's coming.
It's so good. I just like it's just cute. Okay, must Genie Plus in Disneyland.
Disneyland.
Ooh.
I should have made sure of what rides were Genie Plus there.
I think
Lightning Rise is it's not Lightning Lane anymore.
No, I think Rise is the Lightning Lane.
Yeah.
Okay. I think Rise and Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway are Lightning Lanes. So, let's see. I would Genie Plus, probably Big Thunder or Space Mountain. Maybe Space Mountain because the line's normally longer than Big Thunder. It's easier to wait for Big Thunder. I'm not an Indiana Jones person. It's a little too whiplashy for me. I get like a headache almost every time I go on it. I get a headache, so I try to avoid that ride. Though when I don't not like the actual ride itself. I just don't like the aftermath of being on the ride.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Um, so for me personally, that wouldn't be my choice, but I'll go on it if we're with a group of people and they're like, no, this is my favorite ride. We need to go. I'm like, okay, fine. Let me
I'll take one for the team. Yeah.
Pre-treat with some Excedrin and then let's go.
I love that. You're a good friend.
I try.
Tell me about, do you have any knowledge on, I mean, you live there, so I don't know if this is somewhere you have experience in, but like hotels, obviously you can stay on property. There are 3 resorts, but they are like
Very
unbelievably
expensive.
expensive.
Yeah.
So do you have recommendations for like off property?
I've only stayed at a couple, like, and none really recent. I don't even think any have been post pandemic, and there have been a lot of hotels that have popped up since the pandemic.
Yes.
So last time I stayed at Howard Johnson, and I know it's technically walking distance, but for me, like, my sister was coming up to visit, and at the time I lived a little bit further away. So we decided to get a hotel for the night. And if you're only staying one night there, you can only park there until checkout. So then we basically had to park at Disney. Yeah. So, which kind of sucked that they didn't even, and it was like a slow time. It wasn't like they were going to be super busy. So it was kind of bummed that there wasn't even an option to like pay to park the rest of the day there. So I don't have as much experience with that, but I know a lot of the newer hotels have done a lot of specials and seem really nice, and like a lot of people really like them.
Yeah.
But there's so many that are close.
We're gonna stay off property next trip.
I feel like at Disney World it makes more sense to stay on property. At Disneyland, there's so many options to stay off property that, like, unless you're going for the specific reason of you want to stay on property and you want to stay at a specific hotel, then it's not really worth it.
Completely agree.
I've learned a lot about the Disneyland hotel scene just in the last couple weeks planning our September trip. So we'll have to do like a little debrief on that sometime, Shel.
Definitely. Yeah.
It's wild.
And I do know a lot of the hotels have like specials. They're good neighbor hotels. So they have they do have a lot of perks like Disney World on property hotels have, that you can still get like early entry. And sometimes they'll even like be able to hook you up with like extra dessert party tickets if it seems sold out, or even during like some of the like Oogie Boogie Bash, they might have a couple extra tickets that they'll be able to help you out with and stuff too. So, which I know you guys talked about that last week about we don't have a separate Halloween party. Our Halloween party is the Oogie Boogie Bash, and it's only at California Adventure.
Oh,
I was right.
It's only at California Adventure?
Yeah,
correct.
I knew that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Oh, that's
weird.
That's weird. That gives me weird vibes.
It's actually, though, it's better, I think, for it. When they had it, I've only been when they had it at Disneyland because it was like a long time ago before it was Oogie Boogie Bash. But the way they set it up for Oogie Boogie Bash is way better suited for California Adventure. And I always try to go, even though it's really expensive, but the tickets sell out like crazy. So if it's something, they should have tickets in September. I think they'll go on sale in like July. So be ready.
We have to like set because they dress up. They dress up Radiator Springs for Halloween, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't need like spooky cars. I don't know. I want a spooky castle.
It's the ours don't start as early though, because I think at Disney World your guys' Halloween party starts in like August, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think ours doesn't start until maybe mid or early September.
I do
So it's
remember
not as long
seeing,
of a season.
yeah, I do remember seeing last year that like was not nearly as many dates as World has for Halloween parties, but also it's really like two
Apples and
totally.
oranges. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So
I mean, at the rate they sell out, though, they could easily add twice as many nights and still be fine.
beef, yeah, and it would, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It would still sell out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have any like Disneyland traditions like every time that you go? But I know like as a local, I feel like it's a little bit different.
I always get a churro is probably my closest.
Plain?
I was gonna ask.
Yes. Yes, but if the Fluffernutter churro is around, that is the churro to get of seasonal special churros.
I have heard about that one.
It's so for anybody that hasn't heard about it, they cut the churro in half and it's drizzled with like a peanut butter syrup and a marshmallow fluff syrup and sprinkled with mini chocolate chips. It is the greatest specialty churro that has ever existed. But it's not like, I don't even know what season it's attached with, because it seems like when they don't have a specialty churro going on, like a big themed one, they'll like throw it back at this. So it's only, I think it's for the past like year and a half, it's lived at one cart. So I'll feel comfortable saying which one. When you're at California, it's only at California Adventure. When you walk in and you get to like where Carthay Circle is, they have like a little fountain.
Yep.
It's over to the right, and there's a churro cart right before you get over to like Soarin'. And it's always at that one.
Yeah. On my last trip, maybe it was you that told me to go to get that one, and it wasn't there. And I remember
Sorry.
No. I remember specifically that it was like a lemon one, and we did get that. And it was
How
good.
Was the lemon one?
It was good, but it wasn't Fluffernutter. So
yeah. Some of them I see these new, and I'm like, what? Like right now, I think there's like a carrot cake churro, and I don't know. I don't know who came up with that idea and who thought it was. Maybe it tastes good. I could be wrong, but I just don't understand why you'd want to put carrot cake and a churro together.
Yeah,
they've done all. The amount of churros that they have come up with is
so many.
It's a skill.
Yeah.
There's like savory ones, right?
I don't know.
I mean, they had one that had like a maple caramel and bacon bits on it once, but
I guess they do have the spicy-ish one for Buzz.
Oh yeah.
But I've never had that one. That doesn't appeal to me.
Me either.
And the Buzz ones are kind of like weird because they use the sugar they use on it is like that bigger like sugar you use for like cake sprinkles, and it just doesn't have the right like texture consistency of it to like it's cool, it looks cool, but it completely throws off the vibe of the churro.
Yeah.
Ugh. I'm gonna need to pre-plan my churros now. Jeez.
Yeah. There's they'll do certain I'm trying to remember how long ago they did it. They did a whole thing where they had like 7 specialty churros in Disneyland, and it was like a try all the churros. Like you could buy a button to like say you tried all the churros.
I would do that.
It was the same. It was great.
I love a hunt.
Yes.
They used to have one by Big Thunder Mountain that I think it's normally around Halloween. The first time it came out was around when Cocoa came out. It was also had like cocoa powder in the sugar cinnamon dusting. So it was like lightly chocolatey. It was so good. It came with like a chocolate spicy dipping sauce that wasn't my jam because throwing the like chili into it wasn't isn't for
No.
me, but just the churro by itself was great.
Interesting.
We go crazy with our churros.
I'm gonna left turn again. You mentioned to me before
Mhm.
we were chatting that you maybe have done a VIP tour.
Yes. So my husband's friends live in Hawaii, and they came out here for it was actually last year. Yeah.
Okay.
It was a year ago. They came out here for their like, I think it was their spring break, and his mother-in-law was coming, and she decided she wanted to pay for a VIP tour for them to do Disneyland at, and they had 2 more spots open. And my husband, from working at Disney and having to sign so many people in, is kind of anti going to Disney just because
Fair,
he
that's
was there
fair.
so much.
Yeah.
So he was like, I'll only do this one because it was his friend's wife's birthday, but we share a birthday, so it was also my birthday. He's like, I'll only do this for you because I know it's your birthday and you're really going to want to go, and it's a VIP tour, so we're not going to have to wait in lines.
Nice.
So basically you tell them what I grasped since we weren't the ones planning it was that you tell them what your must-dos are, and they make sure they can get you those rides. And basically they it's kind of like Genie Plus, but they have it on their like phones where they can ask like, hey, are we good to go in for this ride? And they kind of organize which rides, and you basically go through the lightning lane like entrances for them, so you can get them the lower wait times. And we kind of they can help set up like reservations for dining. There's special seating for the parade and fireworks, and you can choose like fireworks, or if you want like World of Color. We had it for the parade, but if we went and saw the parade, we were gonna not have enough time, I think, at Disney or at California Adventure. So we ended up skipping the parade to get all the California Adventure rides we wanted to in, because we just did the minimum 7 hours.
Okay.
I think it's a minimum of 7 hours.
A long time. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was like go, go, go. The longest time we didn't go was when we got drinks at Oga's. And then they also helped set up a dining reservation for Carthay Circle for dinner. So we kind of ended there. By that time we were so like wiped from how fast we went through the day that like we were supposed to have like spots for World of Color, and we didn't even make it to World of Color. We just like but we went to Carthay, and there's a dining room in Carthay. Shelby, you haven't been to Carthay either, right?
I have a long time ago. I had like a dining package for that, and I saw Frozen.
So when the dining package, were you up in the dining room or down in the lounge?
I think the dining room, but gosh, it was so long ago.
So there's like in the dining room, they have like the main dining area, and then there's a couple of like offshoot small rooms.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is bigger than the rest, and it's the room that's directly underneath the bell tower. I wish I could remember what the room was, but it has like a wine cellar entrance, kind of like in this like iron gate. So the gate's normally closed, and I guess they like rarely see people in there. But a couple nights before we were there, I'm gonna forget his name, and it's not great. There is an actor who has been doing Disney movies like almost his entire life. He's older. I should have looked it up. I remembered it though when I was thinking about it, so I thought I'd be good. Maybe it'll come to me. Anyway, he also has a winery, so they did some kind of special like wine tasting and he was there. And it's like, because it has this little like entrance with the gate, it's separate from, it has like a wider separation from like the main dining room. So it's a little more quiet. So we got to do dinner there,
Cool.
which was super cool because
Yeah.
it's like isolated. I think we pretty much like shut the restaurant down.
Nice.
But yeah, so that was pretty cool. And that was his friend, my husband's friend, thought that my husband pulled strings for that one, but that was not his. When we've gone with them before, we've gone to restaurants where his friends still work, and we've gotten little like perks, but not, he had nothing to do with that one because most of his friends don't work at Carthay anymore. It's been so long.
It was just a pure magic moment.
Yeah, it was just pure magic probably from the VIP tour.
Yeah.
So it was cool. It was a good way to get a lot of rides done fast. I think a lot depends on your guide, and our guide was great. I've heard some that are hopefully a little like, ours was newer to Disneyland, so I don't know if that played into it. She had been a guide at Disney World before. She was still really good. She had some facts, but she didn't have as many facts specific to Disneyland, I think, as like some other guides that have been there longer. But she was really nice. We got everything they wanted to do done. So,
that's what matters.
No complaints. Right? Yeah. And it's basically just like, I think people like us that would try and book it for the cost, you're just going to try and get as many rides done as possible versus like be more leisurely about it.
Yeah. See, I feel like if I did a VIP tour, I maybe would not even ride anything. I would just want them to blab at me the whole time. Like, earn your money.
It depends on the guide though, because I felt like I tried to get some like information and facts from her.
Yeah.
And being a Disneyland local for as long as I have been, I felt like she didn't have as much like news for me.
Oh, see,
if that makes sense.
I would want to know all the facts.
Yeah. So I've heard people that have guides that like have all the facts like that, and it's super awesome. But because she came from Disney World and she'd only been at Disneyland for like, it might not even have been 2 years yet.
Yeah.
She just didn't have as much of the Disneyland facts.
Yeah.
I get that. And there's probably people who don't want to hear any of that at all. Like,
right.
So there's a need for both. Just for me, like, I can ride that ride anytime. I don't need to sit in silence for 10 minutes while I ride Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah.
I want to know, like, who was the Imagineer? Why is that star slightly crooked?
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
And she didn't go on any of the rides with this. Or I think she only went on a couple rides where like, our friends' kids wanted her to go with them. But otherwise she like stayed back.
She stays back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I think you can also be like, hey, can you go grab us like churros or like, so you could have something? Because that was the other thing. My husband was getting way hangry at one point, and I was like, he's like, I can't do that ride anyway. I'm going to go get food. And I was like, that's a good call. Get me something too, please, because I'm dying.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I love that.
Which I think is just how we played it. Like, I don't think that, like, I think that's an option if you really like to go dine and get food for lunch too is totally fine. But I think we were in the mindset of like, get as much done in 7 hours as possible.
Right. Yeah. I think the VIP tours is kind of like whatever you want it to be, sort of.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I feel that.
Let's see. What would you say is the most underrated part of Disneyland?
I wrote some notes down, so I'm making sure I don't miss what I said with that. I think Disneyland, something people probably don't realize is that a lot of our characters walk around.
Mm-hmm.
So you can just like, you can have full on conversations with like Peter Pan, or when like there's an area on Main Street where Wendy and Mad Hatter will play like musical chairs with the pianist. So like just the stuff like that you get all want to rush about getting on all the rides and everything, but there's so much magic that can happen and so many cool experiences that can happen just by like walking around.
Yeah.
I feel that with Disney.
Which I think is where like the Disney magic like comes from.
Me too.
Agree.
I love that. Tell me, this is my last question, and then we're gonna put you into a speed round.
I'm ready.
Do you have any tips on things that people might not know about Disneyland that would make their trip more magical?
Yes, I wrote some stuff down so so I wouldn't forget. So I really like the Animation Academy and the whole building that Animation Academy is in. Like I can just sit in that room and watch. They have like different stages in the animation for the movies. So my favorite Princess is Rapunzel. So they have the for 4 Tangled, they have like sketches of the movie and sketches of like the lantern scene, but they're also show pictures and stills from the actual movie, and they play it with the iconic music. And they go from everything from like, there's some Frozen scenes, there's some Mulan, The Lion King, like the whole range of Disney movies. I think there's even a Snow White section in there. So Toy Story. So they really just go a long range of it's like the best area to be in. Like I could spend so much time just sitting there. So doing the Animation Academy and like learning how to draw a character is super cool too. Turtle Talk with Crush is always fun, but that area in general is always a cool area to kind of like take a break if you need to. The AC is always great in there.
Going back to the last question, that is like an underrated part of
100%.
California
That's
Adventure,
true. That is
good. It's so good.
That is true. Yeah, it's really good. And then in Avengers Campus, there a lot of the Avengers will walk around sometimes, and I haven't personally found this yet, so I'm still waiting. Ant-Man walks around, and where Avengers Campus currently is used to be Bugs Land, and he carries around a little mini model of Bugs Land. And it's so cool, and you can ask him about it and he'll like pull it out, and I just like I need to see it with my own eyes. So I keep trying, but I think I've only even seen Ant-Man walking around once, so I don't know how like what his schedule is, but I see Loki and Thor and Captain America all the time, but Ant-Man's like barely there. So that's my current goal, is to try and find Ant-Man and his mini Bugs Land.
I like that.
And I think he has some story about like it's actually like he has the story about the bugs, like it isn't a miniature version of where they are now. He has like a backstory for it. So it's kind of cool. Yeah.
Amazing.
And then just a cool like tidbit is the beer stand in California or at San Francisco. It used to be the beer truck in that area is from Carl Strauss. So all the beers are Carl Strauss, which is the oldest microbrewery in California, which started in San Diego. So it's all still like independently owned. It hasn't like sold to any larger breweries. So that's kind of cool. So all the beers in San Francisco are from that one brewery.
Oh, cool.
And then at dusk in Cars Land, they turn the neon on and they do kind of like a little show for it, so to speak. So that's always something fun if you're in the area to try and catch, because the atmosphere in that area when that happens is pretty cool. Like,
the best.
So the tip I hear is just to check when sunset is and try and be there like 20 minutes before. And you'll be able to catch it. You'll see when people kind of start to accumulate and just like stand in the way, and you'll know it's coming soon. And then I'm a fan too of in Galaxy's Edge. You can do it on your phone. You don't have to have a magic band for it. but they have bounty hunting, and I think it works in both coasts, and it's really fun. I don't use my Magic Band on the wristband. I have like a little puck holder, and we went with some friends once, and we were bounty hunting, and Boba Fett walked by, and I had our friend's son had my Magic Band. I was like, tell him you're bounty hunting like he does, and he like started bounty hunting with us. So character interactions like that are pretty cool.
Cool, yeah,
because I know in Galaxy's Edge it's more likely, but throughout Disneyland parks in general, like that's something that doesn't happen as much at Disney World. Let's see. Our Trader Sam's is the original. It is really tiny, but there are drinks that are specific to Disneyland versus Disney World. So those are always fun to check out. The reservations are hard to get, but you can go and try to go inside, or like ask to be seated inside. The wait might be long, but we've always kind of been able to get in if we really wanted to. So I don't know how dining reservations work. I feel like they only open up like a very small amount of them so that people can still get walk-ins, but and then I prefer the later showing of Magic Happens, the parade, because the lights come on, it gets a little dark. So the floats completely change. It's almost like a nighttime parade because the floats light up. So like the Moana float is like extra special in the later showing. So with daylight savings time, I'm not sure if it's like as strong,
of course,
but if you come in like the fall or like early or winter, the later showing of the parade is definitely the way to go, and I think it's normally a little less crowded. And then in general, especially if you're here with kids that need some distraction, the Disney Play app in Galaxy's Edge for the lines like has so many cool things to keep people distracted with. I think it's like the best use of that app. In other rides, it's like meh, but in Galaxy's Edge, there's so many things you can do with it that like there's games you can play while you're walking through the park, but there's also games you can play in line for Rise and the Millennium Falcon that are like specific to those rides that depending on your location in the ride, it'll pick up different things.
Very cool.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with that app.
Yeah.
What?
It's especially in Galaxy's Edge.
I always say I have to take more advantage of that app, like in the parks.
I feel just downloaded it.
It's like really the only place I really use it is in Galaxy's Edge because it has so much, like there's so many options in Galaxy's Edge. And I don't know how it is at Disney World, but on the other rides, it's just like mediocre or like trivia. It's not specific.
Yeah.
It's not as interactive. Yeah. I do use it in the Soarin' line just to entertain myself.
Yes.
But I've used it in Galaxy's Edge recently, and it's so cool, and it's such a good, like, yes, you can play the ones that are specific to the lines, but also there are ones you can just do that entertain you that you don't have to wait in line for. It's like something to do that is independent. There's no wait. There's no crowd. It's your own thing. Love that.
And I think it's a good, hopefully they start to bring that into like other areas, but it's a good way to like get out of like the feeling like you have to get into a line and like just wait and not do anything.
Yes. I support that.
Those are probably my biggest tips that are
great
like
ones.
maybe not as known about.
I love it.
Court, I hate to do this to you, but I have to run to the dentist.
No!
I know. So you finish off these rapid fire Disneyland favorites. And I have to go back to the dentist.
Sorry.
No. Don't be.
No, we're sorry for your pain, really.
Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah. So keep you posted on this, but I'm gonna be late. So
we love you. Hope the dog doesn't sniff out your
right. Thank you. Yeah, thanks.
You're welcome.
Alex, it was so good to meet you. Thank you for all the information. I'm even more excited for Disneyland. Okay, you guys finish up.
All right, now that Shelby's gone, we can talk about the good stuff.
Sounds good. Let's go.
I want your insider scoop. This is going to be a quick little speed round of favorites. Don't think too hard about it, but I will judge you a little bit based on your answers.
Sounds great.
Okay. What is your favorite California Adventure ride?
Incredicoaster.
What?
Yep.
You are like, so you're telling me you're down to go upside down, but you are not down to be jostled around, basically.
Are we comparing it to Guardians of the Galaxy?
Or
I do
Indiana
also love.
Jones.
Oh, yes. Because
Yeah.
Indiana Jones is like side to side, like whiplash, and I
Yeah.
don't get the whiplash going upside down.
You are a remarkable human being. I'm impressed.
My
Okay,
equilibrium's great. No side to sides.
I love that. The Incredicoaster. Dang. Okay, what's your favorite Disneyland ride?
Big Thunder Mountain.
Amazing, amazing. And you think bi-coastal the same?
Yes, from what I can remember. I think I've only been on it like once at Disney World, and I don't remember any big changes. So probably the same.
I think they're pretty similar. I find that yours is, I can tell more I'm in a theme park or something.
I think so because ours is like more, if I remember right, your guys' is like isolated more.
Yeah, it's like deep in Frontierland.
Yeah. Yeah. And ours has like a lot going on around it. You can,
Yeah.
from certain angles, you can like see into Galaxy's Edge or see like
Yeah.
from the Galaxy's Edge. And it's really cool to go during the fireworks.
That's same with ours. That's always like a pro tip. If you're
Yeah.
willing to sacrifice like a full view,
Yes.
it's a really cool moment to like pop outside from a
Yes.
cave or whatever and like be
100%.
surrounded by light.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your favorite entertainment or show?
So for parade, it's Magic Happens.
Okay.
Like I think I mentioned earlier, the second showing so that the everything lights up.
So cool.
And then it's super cool. I don't think either of you have seen it, so definitely when you come next, make sure you watch it.
Yeah.
And then as far as nighttime goes, I always love fireworks, but we haven't had any like special fireworks shows recently, so I'm not sure what the new one is, but I also really love World of Color.
And World of Color is like no fireworks at all, right?
No.
It's just water.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like
It's
amazing,
like
spectacular water, but water.
It's like the Bellagio show on steroids.
I need to know why they don't bring that situation to Animal Kingdom because it sounds like animals could handle it. It's not like booms and scary and loud. And
That's a really good question. And I feel like it would be they might, I don't know, maybe the infrastructure is hard, like all the different like water pumps and stuff they need would be difficult to put in. But like it might be a good thing for like that spot where they had the Kite Tails show.
Yeah, that's where we used to have a nighttime show there that they ruined forever for me. So, World of Color, maybe something.
That'd be cool.
That'd be very cool. And you didn't mention Fantasmic, so you're fired, but also what's that about?
It's not happening right now, but I don't know, like Fantasmic is cool, but there's something about World of Color that just is better for me.
Okay. All right. I accept. I don't agree, but I accept. I mean, I've also never seen World of Color, so maybe that'll change.
Yes.
Okay, now I'm going to ask you 2 magical moment questions.
Sounds great. Let's go.
Okay. What is your favorite magic moment that's happened to you at Disneyland as a guest?
As a guest. So it kind of had, I mean, I got a little bit of influence for it. So we did get to eat at the office at Lamplight Lounge, which is like this separate dining room. One of our friends does work there, and we kind of we were going with some friends from out of states who were like, hey, if possible, we didn't know if it was going to happen or not, but we were able to eat there. So basically it's this separate room off to the side of the main dining area at Lamplight. You can actually see it from where you can watch the Incredicoaster launch. If you look across the way at the Lamplight restaurant, there's a little door and like patio that you see on the side, and like that's the office basically. So it's a separate dining room. It's private. It's supposed to be set up as like that's where Pixar animators could go to like relax or have lunch, and there's like sketches all over the walls of different animators and stuff, and they have like some board games, and I think you have to have a larger party. I'm not sure what the cap is, but it's also not something that you can like ask for. They just kind of like randomly give it out to people. And we had kind of been like, hey, if it's available, can we go with our friend that worked there? And she was like, I'll see what I can do. And we didn't hear either way. So we were like, maybe, maybe not. And then we ended up getting to go. It has this really cool like vault door that they make you like play through the vault and like spin the vault to get in, and have like, there's a cute little like thing they say about the magic or something like that to get into the door.
Yeah, and it's by private dining room. It's literally just like you and your party, right?
Yeah,
Nobody
correct.
else.
Yeah, nobody else. And like they
So
come,
cool.
the server comes directly to your room. It's just your party and that's it. And then the other like magical moments, I like watching and seeing what like cast members do for other like for other guests or like kids that like are uncomfortable, or like one of the last trips I went on, there was this family that was trying to go over to Tom Sawyer's Island, and one of the little kids was like really scared of going on the raft. And so one of the pirate cast members like, it's like, here, look, I know you're afraid. You can watch us all go across, and then I'll come back and get just you, so that like you can see that it's safe. And like he was so sweet with them, and it was just like the coolest thing. And I like, so I put in a cast compliment for him, but he was like, no, I was trying to get his name, and he was like, you don't have to do that. That's just being a pirate. And I'm like, dude, like you clearly went out of your way for this little kid. Like that's super cool. So I like kind of catching the magic that they do for other people. I go so frequently that like, it's not like, to me, it's not important that magic happens to me. Like I like seeing what happens for all of the like the little kids and the people that it's like it's a once in a lifetime experience for.
Yes, you hit the nail on the head. I totally agree with what you're saying. Cast members are the magic. I mean, 100%. Of course, attractions are amazing, and we're there for the fireworks and all those things. But if everybody's being mean to you and pushing you out the way and stuff, like it's not the experience. So those people really do it up.
There's rides at all different theme parks, and there's just something about Disney that like sets it apart from every place else.
100% agree. I love that. I got goosebumps actually. It was very sweet. Okay, then my last question is your final opinion or thoughts on Disneyland versus Walt Disney World.
To me, they're apples to oranges. It's really hard to compare because Disneyland has its own unique set of qualities that make it special.
Yes.
And even when people try to compare like Magic Kingdom to Disneyland, like there's so many things about it that are different, even though the premise is the same. And even a lot of the rides that are similar are the same ride are not the same ride. There's small enough differences that make it a different ride. I'm always going to be partial to Disneyland, but there's parts of Disney World that I wish were closer. Like I love me some Epcot and Animal Kingdom.
Me too. You nailed it. In my opinion too. I mean, I am preferential to Walt Disney World just because it's my backyard. But you're right. There are so many differences. Like I understand that Small World is the same in both parks, but really, if you named it a different ride, you would never even think. I mean, you would think they were related, but different rides.
Yeah, and like to me, your guys' Small World is like it doesn't have the same like ambiance our small world has,
Not at
because
all.
we have that whole like outdoor facade that like is the vibe of small world. And that's
Yes.
you guys is like it's thrown in a building and yeah, the ride's the same, but like you don't get that from outside.
Yeah.
But there's I had something and I lost it. Anyway.
It's Disneyland and
Oh.
Disney World, both great. Go
I
ahead.
think depending on what park you grew up going to, that's kind of where you lie is what your like
I totally
more
support that.
preferential park is, because but I've also met people that didn't realize that Disney World came after Disneyland. I'm like,
Oh, yeah, I think that's common.
why would they build a smaller park after they built a huge one? Like that doesn't even make sense from a business perspective. Like, what are you
Yeah.
thinking?
Yeah.
But I think whatever one you kind of started going to is the one that you have those childhood memories tied to, and that like feeling that you get from Disney and that
Yes.
original magic. So that tends to be the place that you like cling to a little more.
I totally agree. Yes. There are places, plenty of places, probably for you too, across Disney property that, like for me, Fantasmic is a big one. When I walk in there, of course, I love Fantasmic. I love it. It's magical to me every time, but I think
Yeah.
85% of the magic is related to like childhood memories.
100%. Yeah.
So,
and I think that's why some of the stuff like that I don't have, like I never grew up watching Fantasmic, so I don't have as strong ties to that.
right.
But I was at opening night A World of Color. So like
It's
I
part
have
of you.
more of like a tie to that, and seeing that for the first time and seeing like some of the montages that they go through, and like it like you can't beat that experience of like never having seen something for the first time, and like that feeling that it brings you.
I agree. You know you're part of something special.
Yeah, exactly.
I support that. Well, thank you so much for being with us, for answering
my
every
pleasure.
question that we wrote down and also quite a few that we didn't. You gave us a lot of unique perspective about Disneyland and about Disney magic in general. I think it was
Yes.
cool to hear your opinions and stuff, and we're so thankful that you were willing to come on and provide Shelby some distraction before she had to get scent checked by the murder dog. So
Yes.
thank you for that. And
no problem.
if people want to find you or connect with you on social media, where can they find you?
Yes. I'm on Instagram. I just changed my Instagram handle. But it's Alex with a churro.
Love
and
that.
So that I'm trying to be better about posting some of the like the fun Disney stuff on that. So I'm always open to help answer questions if anybody has them too. I probably don't have as much knowledge as some of the like bigger Disney land accounts, but I'm always willing to help. I've been going for so long that I'll give you my opinions and ways I think it should be done. Well, not even think it should be done, but how, like, can help based on what you guys are doing.
Yeah, I love that. And no shade to influencers. Like the dream life
No,
is to
not
be
at
a
all.
huge influencer,
Yeah.
but a lot of things happen differently for you when you're an influencer of a certain status.
Yes.
So there's something to be said for you being like a regular guest and
Right.
knowing, your
And
own personal experience.
And even some of the ones that don't necessarily get like media passes for things, like have made it their job and they
Right.
are making money on it so that they can go all hours of the day and be there when a new menu drops or they do the soft launch of the food festivals, and like not everybody can do that. And
Right.
I've also found that like when you go that early, things need
different.
time to settle a little bit.
Yep.
And sometimes their experience is something not being great. If you wait a week and go later, it's worked the kinks out. Like you got to give it a little bit of time.
For sure. Totally agree.
But yeah.
Thank you so much. I hope people come find you on Instagram, and I'm sure we will be chatting more
Yes,
in the
for
days
sure.
to come.
For sure.
All right.
Thanks
Thank
for
you so
having me.
much. Yep.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.